Hello, welcome to the video. So today I'm here to film kind of an exciting video. I wasn't planning on participating in any readathons in November or really December, but then I found one that sounded kind of interesting and the board is super cute, so I decided to participate and I'm going to talk about it in this video. So the readathon that I'm going to be doing runs from November 15th to December 15th officially, but in the announcement video, the creator said that it's very chill, and if you want to do the entire month of November and December, go for it, like do whatever you want. So that's what we're going to do. And the readathon that I'm talking about is the BucketList-athon. It is hosted by Danny Dabbles. It's a channel, like, I'm not super familiar with her. This was actually, I believe, the first video I've ever come across of hers, but she seems really sweet. She seems like a fun person, so I'm definitely gonna have to check out more of her videos when I get a chance. But for the sake of this video, I will link that video down below, the announcement video, so you guys can check it out and participate if you want. She put together a super cute, like, board and like rule sheet and all kinds of stuff. It's very aesthetically pleasing. I really enjoyed looking at it, if that matters to you. But I'm going to be playing this readathon on easy mode. There are two modes. There's a hard mode and an easy mode. I, of course, am going to do easy mode, which means I have to do a total of 5 rolls. I have to visit 2 corners of the board, and if I get any color square twice, I have to roll again. So that's what we're going to be doing. Hard mode is a whole other thing. You can go check it out. Again, everything will be linked down below. But for the last 2 months of this year, I am trying to avoid anything that sounds hard. So just calling it hard mode, I'm not in. I will be doing, hopefully, 5 rolls in this game. And let's just see what we come up with. Roll 1 is a 3. And I'm starting in the life corner. So which way do I want to go? So I'm starting in life. 1, 2, 3. So it is an end of year goal. So I decided to start in the life corner, which basically means that if there are any prompts that can be interpreted as something that is not reading a book, I'm probably going to do the other way. But that's not necessarily true, because my first roll got us end of the year goal, and I am going to use a reading goal, so it is going to involve reading a book. And one of my reading goals for the year, which, by the way, I have completely failed out on all of my reading goals, but one of them was to complete 5 series. So I picked a book that is the second book in a duet. So if I finish reading this, I will finish out at least 1 series. So that is one of my end of the year goals. And that is The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent. This is the second book in the Nightborn duet. The first book is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. And I'm very excited to read this. I started it a couple months ago. I read like 20 pages and then I ended up putting it down for something else just because of timing. I read 40 pages of it. So in, not this one, but the first one, The Serpent and the Wings of Night, we are following Araya, who is a human girl raised by a vampire king. Her parents were killed when she was a child, and her main goal in life is to acquire enough power to avenge her parents' death. So there is this, like, very rare, I feel like, tournament that she decides to enter, because if you win the tournament, you can ask for anything you want from the goddess of this world. So she figures she's gonna win the tournament, she's gonna ask for power and take her revenge for her parents' murders. This is a romantasy series, so of course there is a male character as well. His name is Rain. He is a vampire and he is also a participant in this tournament. I really enjoyed book 1. I believe I gave it 5 stars, and from the 39 pages of this one that I read, I was really enjoying this one as well. So hopefully I will like this one just as much and I will fly through it either in November or December. Roll 2 is a 5. Okay, and I think I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to a hyped read. Roll 2 got us a hyped read, and if you watched my TBR Bakery TBR, I actually used this for the hyped prompt that I also got in TBR Bakery, but I'm switching it up this time because I really, really want to get this book on my TBR this month, and I was not able to get it in TBR Bakery. It's not necessarily hyped yet, but in terms of like people reading it and saying it's good, but it is hyped in the fact that I've seen it on a few other people's TBRs, so that's good enough for me, and that is Bloodguard by CC Robson. I, along with everyone else, pre-ordered this book and then just watched it get pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. It finally came out on October 22nd. I got my copy. It's not quite as like stunning as I thought it would be, but it is still a pretty book. And if I don't get to it until December, it's kind of Christmassy looking with all the red and white. It's not a Christmassy book in any way, but you know, the colors. Color scheme wise, there's like vines, which make me think of Christmas. And in this book, I really don't know anything about it. All I know is that you're following a gladiator who is entered into a tournament. I don't know anything else about it. This was legitimately a cover buy, but I really want to read it and see what it's all about. Roll 3 is a 1. I think I will go TBR. So this list is taking place of my TBR cards, but this is my must-reads. I'm going to roll a die, and whatever number comes up, we will be reading the corresponding book for that prompt. Okay, here we go. 6. Okay, that is The Serpent and the Wolf by Rebecca Robinson. I have an arc of that book. Roll 3 landed me on a TBR card, so this was like your must-read TBR for the end of the year. And for this one, I'm going to use an arc that I have. The book comes out on November 19th, which is why I'm definitely going to be just taking this as like a whole, like all of November and all of December, not just the 15th to the 15th. But the arc that I have is The Serpent and the Wolf by Rebecca Robinson. I don't know much about this, but it had a lot of my buzzwords in it. So the little blurb at the top of the summary, synopsis, whatever, contained words like political intrigue, slow burn, enemies to lovers. I'm into it. So that's why I don't really request a whole lot of arcs, but this one really caught my attention because it had so many of those buzzwords right at the top. But if you want a little bit more information about it, we are following our main character, Vasa. She is a princess, and her parents were killed by a certain type of dark magic. And as she's gotten older, she started showing signs of having this kind of dark magic. So her brother doesn't want her to threaten his rule, so he kind of sells her off to an enemy, like a rival kingdom, hoping that after he marries her off to the prince of this kingdom, that kingdom will kill her and just take her out and she can be a martyr for his cause. That's all I really know about it. I'm very excited to read it, and I have to read it, so it's a good thing that I am very excited about it. But that is what I got for my must-read TBR book. Roll 4 is a 4. Okay, I think I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to a paperback edition. Roll 4, I landed on paperback edition, and for this I have a book from the library. I was initially going to listen to it on audio, but for the sake of this prompt, I might read it in paperback. I'm not sure if I have to or if I just have to like read a book that has a paperback edition, so like I could still listen to the audiobook. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But again, she's not policing this readathon, so I guess it doesn't really matter that much. But that is The Jasad Heir by Sarah Hashem. This is a fantasy romance, but in this one we are following a princess from a kingdom that I believe has been completely conquered. She is in hiding, but for reasons she comes into contact with the prince of the kind of conqueror kingdom, and she has to kind of try to hide who she is, but they start getting closer and it becomes harder for her to hide her identity, I believe. It involves magic. It's an Egyptian inspired fantasy, which I have not read a lot of, and I'm just super excited to pick this one up, so yay. And what is hopefully going to be our final roll. And we got a 1, so I guess I will just go to physical TBR, because if I go to 5-star, I already had one of that color and I don't want to add any more rolls to this game. Okay, so just to make sure, I did my 5 rolls. I visited 2 corners. I got life and physical TBR, and I didn't get any repeats. So nice, we're done. And finally, our last roll, roll 5, because I did not get any double colors, so I didn't have to add any rolls. But our last roll landed me on the physical TBR kind of cloud, which fulfilled, you know, I started in the life corner, got to the physical TBR corner. Hopefully that is all I had to do to visit 2 corners. But so I had to pick a book from my physical TBR, if I understand correctly. So I picked Happy Place by Emily Henry. Obviously, I have this book physically. I bought this book when it came out. I believe the day or the week that this was released, I was in Barnes & Noble buying it. And then I just never read it. But I absolutely love Emily Henry. I've given all of her books that I've read either 4 or 5 stars. So I'm hoping that I'm going to love this one just as much. I have heard kind of mixed things, but I still have high hopes. But we'll see. This book involves kind of like fake dating, second chance romance kind of thing. We are following our 2 main characters who were in a long-term relationship, but they have broken up. And then they were invited on this kind of like last of its kind big group trip with a bunch of their friends who they have not told that they have broken up. So they go on this trip pretending that they are still dating, and I believe they fall in love again. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I gather. These 4 books, as well as The Serpent and the Wolf, are my TBR for Bucket-List-athon. But this was fun. The board is super cute, like I said, so I would not be opposed to doing more rolls if I manage to finish all these books, but looking at that, it's a pretty big stack. This was a fun TBR to make. Again, I will link all of the stuff for this readathon and Danny Dabble's channel down below for you to check it out if you want to participate. That's it for me today, guys. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.